this is it. The auction's ending today when this film comes out. But what are we going to do? Us staff, we got to keep working. There's lots to be done. I'm thinking if we're going to start that engine, we probably need this stuff right here. Purple juice is good. I think the new owner is going to inherit 2 of these like new 5-gallon cans too. So far so good. Clifton says no leaks down there. That's the way we like it. We let that first 5 settle in and it's perfect. We're ready to prime up the fuel system and start the Yanmar. Welcome to the Scallywags, located in the beautiful Pacific Northwest, where Skagit Valley College has been training technicians since 1968. If you are looking for industry certification and the skills to work in maritime, this is the place to visit. Our staff will share so much knowledge and experience, you will not be disappointed. The workforce demand is very high and all of our graduates are working around the world. If this sounds interesting to you, schedule a tour and come check us out. With all the continued work on electrical systems, we did land a home for the new Wakespeed WS500. Big shout out to Al and Rick. Thanks you guys for hooking us up with this. And Jennifer King is working on the cables. You need special cables for the CAN bus communication to go between that and our Lynx BMS so that they talk and work properly for that safe lithium installation. Well, even though the boat show is done and we have money offered on the boat, we promised we'd keep working, and we are. Down in here, now is a lot of loose ends. We had to finish up this little tiny field installed connector to get the NEMA backbone powered up, and Shane did that, and apparently you needed this little tiny tool. What size was it?
It is 0.9 millimeter.
0.9 millimeter and some good eyes. So we got that hooked up, and the cool thing is we're going to pop up here. We got a couple of different things. We just temporarily powered it, but we've got our Maritron meter and we've got no errors. We got the right power. Everything is working. That is super cool. And then I think if we get up here and check it out, Art told me it's true that, oh, look at that. Fabulous. We've got apparently 5 knots of wind, maybe. I don't know. It's got some menus.
5 meters per second.
5 meters or something. We got menus and oh my gosh, who knows? Gonna have to read the instructions. Another $60 maybe to the hardware store. Boxes, outlet covers, duplex receptacles. We've got the wire pulled, and we can spread students out and get them all installing a little bit of AC electrical. So one more thing, check the box. So we are pulling in the sub-circuits for the AC electrical system. Art's got all of the wiring from the hull inlet, breaker, isolation transformer to the panel done, and so now we need to wire in the outlets to complete the AC system. More money, fisheries supply. So the big cables are in. We are trying to get as much done obviously as we can electrically on the boat. So we were waiting. These come in from Victron, our local distributor. Thanks, Alan. He brought them up during the boat show. We needed these. These are the little CAN communications that'll go from our battery bank up to our BMS, so the BMS knows what's going on inside of each of those batteries. So that was good. And then of course batteries and communications, we've got to get the Victron communications cables for the CAN bus. Everything is CAN bus on here. We're still missing a couple of parts, thanks Jennifer. She has some extra ones from K&R Marine, our electronics instructor. She just did one of these jobs. But the CAN bus is going to go from back here from our Servo GX. It's got to circle around the boat over into the Lazarette to the Multiplus. It's got to come back to the Lynx BMS. It also has to go, and that's another special cable that Jennifer's getting us. That's the one that goes from the BMS to the Wakespeed. Those communicate, need a special cable on the CAN bus. So that's all going to be fine and good. And then I ordered a super long VE direct cable. So this is the other communications cable, and this will go from the servo, once again, around to our solar controller this time. That way, when we fire up this Touch 5 behind me, you're going to have the little icon for solar that will show up, and you're going to have the your shore power and stuff. So we want that data communications. As long as we're running cables in, we thought we might as well. A couple of other cables while we're finishing up the AC outlets is we still have to pull in from here, one of these circuits. We're going to put DC power from here to there is real easy. But as long as I'm running these data cables, I remembered, oh yeah, we need to circle around right where I'm going and get to the other side of the boat. In the main salon on both sides, we want to have 12 volt power for potentially LED lighting, USB ports, whatever, and then it'll probably daisy chain up into the V berth as well. So those cables are all going in this week, and then next week we'll be working on which will be into June, but we'll be working on finishing up some of that wiring. We also still have one more important detail. Yes, the vented loop. Anytime you install an engine below water line, kind of an important piece. And the beauty of this engine being up here in center line is right on the bulkhead back here in our workroom, away from the electrical components. We're going to put the vented loop in. Got to start sourcing this stuff early. We wanted to start up the motor. All we got to do is put the diesel fuel in, which we'll do next week. Back to Fisheries Supply. I don't have enough 1-inch exhaust or underwater hose, wire reinforced, to get from the water pump up to this and down to the heat exchange. That'll be a project for next week, so I'll order up the parts. Okay, like everything else, coming together. CAN bus communications, power, everything for our Skyla that will take both any voltage, but we're waiting on terminations for the number 6 battery cables that will come down and go over here to get back to the main battery bank. We've got our DC powered up on the refrigerator, more CAN bus stuff, the isolation transformer all done. There's just a little bit of neatening up in here in those 2 cables, and we'll be done wiring in this lazarette, which is not that comfortable, come to find out. Well, apparently crew needs a break every now and then to have a little bit of dinner, and then they'll work faster. Hopefully. That's the theory. I'm in. I'm pretty sure that in here we had some spare water pumps, teak, we have some cleats, hardware, yes, roller furler leads. I'm gonna see if they fit. That's going to work out just great. We usually don't save too much stuff, but that's a little treasured. So down the side of the boat with a temporary line just to see how it's going to work out. And sure enough, it's perfect. Got these little rollers. Since it had the old Hank-on sail, now we can actually use the new roller and roll up the new sail. And there's the official line. I didn't want to pull it down and leave it on the deck. We're keeping it nice as long as we can. Okay, don't know if this will come out in the video, but David's been helping out still. See how it's shiny about halfway up on the hull. We're working on, even though, you know, it's already been bid on, we're trying to get as much done as we can. So, big shout out to alumni David. The details are really keeping us busy. But this shaft looks a lot better than that poor old shaft. Woo, that's got a great story someday. However, thanks to our machinist friend Bill, we needed to get the rudder post put back on for the emergency tiller. This is just for a little, you know, get home system. What do? Well, we've got us a nice little stainless steel insert, and so we'll bolt this on the top, we'll slip it back down in, and then we'll drill through the rudder stock, mark this, pull it in, drill press through, and then we will have back to original condition on that steering system. Job will still be left to create a better emergency tiller that'll drop in here for the new owner. Get as much as we can done these last few days.